Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the Toyota 86 Hakone Edition. Before we get in this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Carl Malone Toyota here in Draper for giving me some time with this Toyota 86. I'll include a link to their website in the description down below. I'll also include a link to my car buying guide. Let's get into it. Under the hood, we have a 2.4 liter flat four cylinder that goes through a 6-speed manual. You can get it with an automatic, but why would you? Anyways, 20 around town, 26 on the highways. The fuel economy rating, power outputs are 228 horsepower and then 184 pound-feet of torque. Before we move forward with this review, I do want to mention if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So first off, just like Hakone Editions in the past, this is finished in green. I think you can also get it in black as well, but the green is the way to go. Anyways, really cool headlight design. Turn signals aren't too fancy, but I love the design there. You can see the GR badge down below, and it has a pretty aggressive front end, but the green is the big part. It definitely pops quite a bit. Now, our tire wheel setup is 215 by 40 by 18 in the front and over in the rear. You've got these special bronze wheels with the Hakone Edition. You also have Brembo brakes as well, finished in red. And then I like this little vent piece on the side. Notice the mirror cap is blacked out, same thing with all the window trim. And then look at the contrast with the green and the bronze. That looks really sharp. Now this of course has the Toyota Ru key fob, or Suba Toyota, whatever, however you want to mix it. But yeah, Subaru key fob with the Toyota logo but on it. Pop the trunk open with that. And good space inside for a sports car. It's better than the Mazda Miata in terms of space, so if you're looking for a little bit more practicality compared to Miata, 86 definitely provides that. And then I like the little ducktail spoiler. That looks really cool as well. See GR86 there, and then the exhaust tips pretty aggressive at the bottom, and then of course the taillights, how those arc, and then you do have the Hakone Edition badge there as well. But that's the rest of the rear. Now, being a two-door sports car, we are going to have just the front door to look at. Nice soft touch there at the top, down below as well. And you got brown stitching with this package. The windows are automatic. You got your mirror adjustments in that area. And then it lets you know that this is limited production, 860, is all they're building. Now, the 86 does come with rear seats. Pretty cool trim, perforated down the center, and all of that with the seats. So not a super spacious area, it's more for storage, but you can fit people back there in a pinch. And then with the front seat, you got, again, the brown trim, bucket design. It is manually adjustable. And again, being a manual, you've got the 3 pedals, and the dead pedal even has a nice finish. And GR. So here's a look at the steering wheel. You can see GR there at the bottom, and it has normal practical controls like your cruise control. It's got volume controls, phone controls, all of that. Traditional stock, so that's all easy to use. You do get some nice brown stitching there in the center. Now the gauge cluster is digital. The fun part of this is when you change the modes with this. So if I hold this down and pop it into the track mode, you can see the gauge cluster changes. So kind of a fun little part of this car. Backup camera in reverse, trajectory lines turn with the steering wheel. Nothing too crazy. It's a small car, so don't need much for the camera. The infotainment system is very kind of aftermarket feeling. It's not like what you have in the newest Subarus, and it's not like what you have in the Toyotas either. So it's just an interesting unit overall. We've got our dual zone climate controls and the rest of the climate controls. I do like these buttons down here. It makes it feel a little bit more exciting. Now we do have the manual transmission. Talk about this during the driving portion. It does say Hakone Edition there on it as well. And then you can see your stability control right here, and that's for your track mode, your heated seat controls. Got the parking brake right here, cup holder, storage, nice trim on the top. And then the dash is very kind of plasticky, and well, that's actually soft touch at the very top. And then you do have some nice trim here, but nothing too fancy with it. And then no center for anything like that. So here's our one sticker for the Hakone Edition. You can see that you do get some upgrades with this, including the Brembo brakes, and it says limited slip differential and all of that. And then the interior as well. But there's your base MSRP, and then here's your total MSRP, $36,645. Well, let's see how it performs. Well, let us set off in the Hakone Edition. By the way, visibility, it's a sports car, but it's actually pretty easy to see out of. So this is probably, I mean, I won't say 100%, but this is probably gonna be my only review of the 86 for the 25 model year. These are cars that just don't, they don't sell poorly here in Utah, but there's just not a lot of volume with them. Maybe that'll change over time, but you know, Utah's a place where there is either snow on the ground or it's very cold, a little bit too cold to drive a sports car for like half the year. People are starting to do it, but yeah, not a hot market for this car. I feel like this is more of a California car, if anything. But I will say the 86, pretty cool. The transmission's pretty slick. It's relatively notchy getting it from gear to gear, and seats are pretty comfortable. Definitely aggressive with the bolsters, and the car's not too low to the ground where you don't have to, you gotta take things slower, but it's not too bad. Ah man, this thing's like a little go-kart. Gotta push myself back a little bit. I'm too close to the pedals. But yeah, again, the transmission from gear to gear, really just snappy. And although this is not a rocket ship by any means, this new 86 excuse me, has a little bit more torque compared to the previous. Like it feels more torqueier on the low end, and so it's more daily drivable in that way, but it's still not too fast. And that's important, I think, with a car like this. You can have fun with it without breaking the law, kind of like a Miata. It's not quite as tossable as a Miata in terms of like the crazy body roll you get around corners and everything, to where it feels like a thrill all the time, but it's still pretty fun. And it's pretty easy to rev match on the downshifts because it's a flat 4-cylinder, which they're just, flat 4-cylinders seem to just be more blippable than inline 4-cylinders innately. So we'll just flip around here quickly. Turning radius, of course, is excellent because it's a tiny car, rear-wheel drive. You don't have anything preventing the front wheels from going full crank. Get a little acceleration here. Sounds pretty cool too. Man, it's a quick car, and you're so low to the ground that it makes it feel quicker too. When you're really high up off the ground, like in a big truck or something, you don't feel like you're moving all that much. But this, you're like, you're right there. I like this. This is really fun. So the Hakone Edition just kind of sharpens up the 86. And I mean, maybe I'm just a snob, but if I was gonna get an 86, I would get a special edition, because it's like they don't build that many of these cars anyways. And so it's like you want to have the special, I mean, that's my thought. It's like you want to have the special version. But maybe if you're going to daily drive it, maybe not. But I don't know. At the same time, I'd still probably rather rock the special version. So let me guys think about the 86 here with this Hakone Edition package. But really, really cool car. And I guess I will say definitely get the manual. The automatic is not the worst transmission known to man, but it's also, yeah, not all that great. And the manual with this car is just, it's really good. And this is not a hard manual to drive whatsoever. I mean, this is the first manual car that I have driven in, my goodness, I mean, it's been months, because there's just not a lot of manuals for me to review on the market anymore. And so like I can just get into this car, I don't own a manual, right? I can just get into this car rusty and just drive perfectly fine, no problem whatsoever. So let me know your thoughts.